Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Oh wow, Facebook be distracting me. I finally had to make myself put my phone down and be like, all right, it's time to get to work now. It's time to start week 11. I'm excited about week 11 because 11 is a wonderful number. It's a master number. I've had 11 lovers in my life so far. Hey, that's pretty good for being almost 42. I know people probably had 11 last month. Okay, even with the social distancing, they somehow figured out how to get laid. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, welcome back to Ho. We have a beautiful herb this week. I'm so excited. I love this herb, mullein. Mullein is our herb of the week. And I just took some pictures this morning of my baby mulleins. Yes, I have some baby mulleins that I have been wanting mullein to grow in my yard for years, like literally, and it finally came to me. It finally came to me. Like I even ordered one year some Greek mullein, which has more than one flower stalk coming out of it. Yeah, those didn't work for me. So I think that these ones coming up are just the local varieties, the variety that thrives around here locally in Western Pennsylvania, that just like literally blew into my yard because I asked the universe, obviously, for mullein. Because the thing about mullein is it loves to grow alongside the road, but they spray pesticides alongside the road. There's lots of emissions from automobiles. You know, like it's not the healthiest place, obviously, to harvest your herbs. So a lot of years I don't get any mullein because I just find it in raunchy places, you know? So the fact that it's in my yard now in two different locations, I'm excited because this is one of my favorite teas. I know I say that a lot, like I have so many favorite teas, but this is mullein leaf makes an awesome tea. It's like in the same flavor family as black tea, but like without the tannin bellyache. You know what I'm saying, man? It's really good. You got to strain it twice because mullein leaves have all these tiny little hairs on them, but it is good, honey. It is good. So that's our herb of the week, and we have 4 cards for mullein. Last night, I was working on the Garlic podcast for Herbal Marie, which I'm not real impressed with how much work I got accomplished yesterday. However, in my defense, the sun was shining, and I literally just spent the whole day outside. I even got a little sun, y'all. When I was going to the bathroom this morning, I was like, why is my hip red, like pinkish? I was like, was I just resting my elbow on there? And I was like, I don't think I was. And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's where my shorts came to. So I sat out on the lawn chair yesterday reading my book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I love it so much. I did a little YouTube video on it. But anyways, so where my shorts, oh yeah, I was wearing short shorts. Where the line was, I got like my swimsuit line there. Just a little pink, but I'm so white right now that like it's noticeable. So yeah, be careful when you reintroduce your body to the sun, especially like, you know, if you're a Pennsylvanian, because yeah, our ass has not seen the sun for a long time. So yeah, your skin is sensitive. So, but you know what? It's great to get out there now at the beginning of April and get used to the sun and get your vitamin D, and it felt so good. It made me happy. And yeah, I felt like such a queen sitting in my 1980s inspired flip trifold lawn chair. You know what I'm talking about? Like with the lawn, like if you sit on it long enough, it leaves lines on your butt. Yeah, and you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I felt like a queen sitting out there reading my book, getting inspired by Big Magic. This book is really like a great book to help you get over any creative hurdles or get you inspired to create again. Elizabeth Gilbert wrote the book like Love, Eat, Pray or something like that. I never read that book, even though I've heard it all the time, you know, like talked about. And I'm not really a fiction reader. I'm a nerd. But I like the way she writes in this book, so I will be open to reading that book someday. I'll put it on my book list. All right. Mullein, 4 cards. So anyways, last night I decided, okay, enough of trying to figure out this garlic podcast. You just can't push things, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to know when to go to bed. And it was like getting towards 9 o'clock, and I was like, yeah, now's when you go to bed. So I was like, yeah, but I wanna get my Mullein card out. And I really thought maybe I only had one Mullein card. Like, I was like, how did Mullein even get to be Herb of the Week? Excuse me, because as we go on here, like, I sat down and scheduled all 44 weeks of Ho all at once, and organized, you know, what herbs and what we're gonna manifest more of, and I just jotted it down in this notebook. So as I turn the page each week to a new week, like, it's a surprise to me what's next, you know? And when I saw Mullein, I was like, awesome. And I was like, how did Mullein get to be the herb of the week, though? You know what I mean? Well, it got to be the herb of the week because on Wednesdays, we manifest more good stuff with the Enchanted Blossoms Oracle, and Mullein is on that card with the dragon butterfly. So that's how it got in. And it just so happens that I had 3 other Mullein cards, 2 tarot cards and an oracle card. So it's going to be a great day with Mullein. It's going to be a great week with Mullein. I don't have any Mullein tea right now. I wish I did. It's so good for your lungs and all this beautiful stuff. And like I said, it literally just tastes good. Now, the little yellow flowers that grow on the very phallic, like, what's up, Mullein stalk, like, they don't bloom all at once. So if you want to harvest in the summer the little tiny yellow flowers, because you can put them in oil, like maybe dry them a little bit first, but you can put them in oil and it makes a very good remedy for earaches. That's one thing you can do. Yeah, they don't bloom all at once, so you have to, it's really actually fun in my opinion. You have to keep on going back to that same Mullein plant and harvesting them as they come on, as they bloom. But that gives you like a really nice opportunity to connect with that plant, to get to know her, to visit her, be like, hey, I'm back again. Can I have some more flowers? And see her in her many changes. Now, and then you can, like, you know, take leaves for your tea then later on in the season. At the end of the season, when I do need like a bunch of Mullein, I have, with permission, I feel, from the plant, taken the whole shebang, like cuttered it down at the stalk and taken the whole stalk home at the end of the season. There's some cool things you can do with Mullein, and probably the Herb Crafters Tarot is going to talk about this, but they used to use the stalk. They used to dip it in wax and make like use it as a candle. So there's some pretty cool things. I've heard like Mullein being used as nature's toilet paper. But then I've also heard, you know, other people be like, are you sure you want to do that? Because then look at all them little spiky hairs. Like when I dry Mullein for tea on my own, I always use gloves when I go to break it down, and because I can feel them little spiky hairs getting in my skin. So yeah, if you drink this delicious tea, strain it twice, or I like to strain it through fabric to really, you know, to get them little hairs out. But it is worth it. All right, so let's just go here. Do we need to talk anymore? How are you? You doing good? I'm doing good. I had a tantrum at Herbal Marie. I made my last podcast there was pretty sassy, and I was like, what's going on? Where's the moon? Where's the moon? And then I realized something bigger than the moon was approaching. my birthday. My birthday is May 4th, and yeah, in the history of, my birthday activity, I generally have like at least 1 or 2 or 10 tantrums leading up to my birthday, and sometimes even on my birthday when the birthday falls on a full moon. It's not going to fall on a full moon this year, thank God. I have been known to lose my shit, but you know what? That's just the thing about birthdays. It's like this monumentous personal event to like really let go of things that aren't serving you, to purge, to be a little crazy. And yeah, like with each passing year, I find that like, like I told you when I turned 40, that felt like shedding of a snake skin. Like I just was like, see you later, bye 30s. I just let go of so much. It was so freeing. But yeah, it's like with every passing year, you kind of give less and less of a fuck what people think. And it's like, listen, it's my birthday and I'll cry if I want to. Or just talk shit about whoever I want to. Or, just be honest if I want to. So yeah, like I really wasn't having a tantrum, but I was being super honest in my podcast. Like, I'd gotten some criticism. And yeah, like, hey, I'm not afraid to admit out loud, like when things offend me and hurt me and make me doubt myself. But the thing about it is once you're honest about it, once I was honest, like, wow, I really am doubting myself. Should I delete all my podcasts? Am I hurting herbalism? Should I just shut the F up? Once I went there and like looked at it in the face, I stood up a little straighter and put my shoulders back, and I was like, hell no, I like what I do. I hope it's not hurting herbalism in any way, shape, or form, but guess who's gonna keep being herself no matter what? So yeah, it's like weird. Like I went into doubt, like, okay, I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna see what this is all about. And I sprung out of it feeling way more confident, way more motivated, way more free to create. Then I got into this better feeling place, decided I was going to sit outside and read this book, Big Magic, and wasn't it also on the same page as me energetically? And I opened pretty much up to the perfect words at the perfect time. And she's talking about, not letting other people and yourself dictate your creativity, like not letting things hold you back from being creative. Like, it's not the world's responsibility to support my podcasting. And that was like huge for me to hear. It's like, if you're going to create, then create. Don't expect don't even expect to have an audience, and certainly don't expect the audience to pay for your living, right? Just because you want to be creative. It was like this amazing, like, oh my God, this is just falling into place for me. And what was really cool about Elizabeth Gilbert is she is a writer, and she's always been a writer, and she's always had like another job, like to pay the bills, because she never wanted to stress her writing out by like being like you have to pay the bills, right? That's how much she honors her own creativity. It was like she worked so that she could be creative without her just having that expectation that, oh my gosh, like I have to make money from this. No, she just wanted to write because she loved to write. So it's a great read. I'm almost done with it, but like, and it's a library book, but it's definitely one of those books that I'm like, if I ever found like a used copy of this, I would like buy it just to have it on the shelf, just to every once in a while pick it up and read it. And it's a really good like sit outside in the yard and drink your tea and read this enjoyable book type of book. So anyways, yeah, I felt like a total queen on my Kmart 1983 folding chair, and just hanging out there with my hat on, and I had like a little blanket too because it was not really that warm, but I was like, oh, I'm sitting out here with shorts on and getting some sun. Yeah, waving at people driving by. I was like the ambassador of my neighborhood. It was good. All right, so the herb of the week is mullein. Wednesday we'll be manifesting more courage with this Mullein card with the dragon butterfly. All right, so I guess we can start with this purple shot copper butterfly. What an awesome picture illustration. So yeah, last week we manifested more confidence, and now this Wednesday we're going to manifest more courage to go hopefully with that newfound confidence. Like courage will help keep your confidence, right? Kind of support it in case it kind of starts to wane, little wobble, get you back on. So we will talk more about courage Wednesday. All right. So just wait till Wednesday. You don't need courage until Wednesday, okay? Just hold up. But yeah, I love this illustration. It's she uses a different green, you know, for the mullein, but it's still mullein. It's got 2 different stalks, 3 stalks, and the dragon butterfly is like wrapping its long tail down the phallic stalk. It's really pretty. The butterfly is like purplish but yet pinkish and peachy on the inner parts of its wings, and it's got a blue body. Very cool. Like this illustration of this butterfly makes me want to look up the purple shot copper, like a real life photo, and compare, because it's like, really, because this is gorgeous. Like, what does this actually look like in real life? I love this picture. But yeah, it's Mullein verbascum. Verbascum, what's up? With its tall flowering stalks, mullein has been used in folk medicines for centuries. The dried stems were dipped into wax and used as torches and candle wicks. So that's pretty cool. They were used by witches and against them, depending on the myth. The mullein plant was prized for its astringent properties and has been used as a cough remedy. It is still used as a tea or ointment. Carrying a little bit of the plant in one's pocket is said to help you be more courageous. So I'll just close the book there because I will come back to that same oracle, the enchanted blossoms, on Wednesday. So yeah, it's an awesome plant, you guys, and it's taller than you. Like it grows taller than you. It's a very tall plant. Now right now my baby mulleins, they're just low on the ground. But yeah, it'll get very, very tall. I'm pretty sure this year, unless it's the plant that its first year it is just a low rosette, and then the second year it grows tall. But I think I might be also thinking of teasel. Okay, I'll have to refresh on that. But when you see this picture, like if you go to Instagram later on today and get on Herb Oracle, I'll have a picture of these cards. Like when you see it, especially the one on the Herb Crafter's Tarot, you'll be like, oh my God, I know that plant. Because you'll have seen it driving by, like on the highway. I see them like on the sides of Interstate 80. Like you'll recognize this plant, even if like right now you're not real sure if you know what mullein is. You know, you've seen it. I know it. I know you've seen it. And then once you see it once, you'll see it everywhere. You'll see it everywhere. You cannot unsee mullein once you get vision for it. So anyways, mullein, yeah, this herb of courage. Why? Why though? Why? Because it stands tall. I mean, why? Why is mullein the herb of courage? I'm curious now. I mean, I love it. I just would have not, I don't know if I would have picked that up from it. Okay, so the other cards that we're going to talk about today, we have the Ace of Fire. Okay, so that'll be interesting to see what mullein, a new perspective about mullein with the Ace of Fire. Then it's also the Four of Swords. So that'll be interesting. And then another little sweet card we have from the Illustrated Herbiary. It's the key word on the card is integration. And there's this spider web on it with these mullein flowers around it. There's like an acorn, a brain, a ship, a heart, a full moon, and a moth. So it's like, what the hell is mullein all about? The Four of Swords, there's a dude taking a nap leaning up on a rock. There's a big old mullein. And then the Ace of Fire, which we're going to go to next. This is the most relatable picture for me. There's a mullein that's growing just kind of probably out in a field by a bush with some other weedy plants. Yeah, that looks pretty Pennsylvania to me. So yeah, mullein is our herb of the week. We're going to be able to sit with it all week. Somehow I'll figure out some affirmations like I always do. And yeah, we'll just hang out with it. And then I'll be sad I don't have any mullein tea. But you can order dried mullein. I've ordered a pound of it before. Gosh. I can't just be spending all my cash on herbs, but it's worth it. It seems worth it to me. All right, let me get this book, The Herb Crafter's Tarot, the Ace of Fire. So the Ace, let's see here. This is a really cool tarot deck. All the aces in this tarot deck feature herbs most of us know as weeds. So yeah, like PennDOT and the state, like they try to spray this plant to get rid of it. And I'm like, you fools. Ugh, you idiots. Right? Because it's so amazing, and you'll find out more about that. But anyways, yeah, all the aces in the Herb Crafter's Tarot, usually like they're just like, quote, weeds. They're found easily in nature. They're not usually cultivated intentionally. People try to eradicate them, right? Except if you're me, I'm like, please, Lord, bring in some mullein into my yard, right? I'm like well, you get it too if you're a green witch. Like, you pray for the weeds. You're like, can I please get some more plantain? I just want violets everywhere. Creeping Charlie, what's up? Get into my teacup. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different perspective when you start loving weeds. So anyways, these are like backyard weedy dooryard herbs. They're easy to use. They're real easy to find. And so that's why mullein is the Ace of Fire. Verbascum thapsus. My speech therapist would be very, very concerned for me right there. Verbascum thapsus. All right, so the key words with this Ace of Fire is ignite the flame of creativity. Ooh, that's so good. Okay, so that's so good, one, because our purple shoot copper dragon butterfly just told us about how, they used the mullein stalks as candlesticks and wicks, right? They dipped it in wax. And so now it's like, yes, light the flame of creativity. Seek inspiration by the light of a witch's torch. Let desire illuminate courage. Okay, so there really is this vibrational courage thing going on, because here it is again. Let desire illuminate courage. That is cool. That is cool. I also think it's personally cool that last night I lit a candle. Yesterday and last night was a great time to do a meditation, to be added into the collective for some global mass meditations, to help us heal the world right now. So last night I lit a candle in front of the mirror, and me, myself, and I put our intentions out there. We put our spells out there. We put our prayers up there. We literally put out some energy into the world by the light of the candle. So seek inspiration by the light of a witch's torch. Ignite the flame of creativity. Let desire illuminate courage. So as we look into this photo, a large meadow glows with late afternoon sun. Rolling hills reveal a pasture behind a large hedge. A towering mullein plant points toward the sky. The leaves are fuzzy and soft. Hoverflies, bees, and wasps gather nectar from the small yellow flowers at the tip of the stalk. So yeah, it's a very erect plant. Yeah, very courageous, I suppose. So here is the message from the Ace of Fire, Mullein, our herb of the week. Creative inspiration is bubbling to the surface. Pursue an ancient calling from spirit. Take action to magnify your magic. It is closer than you think. Nice. So I just want to pause right there, because it's yeah, amidst everything that's going on in your life, I mean, regardless who gives an F, creative inspiration is still bubbling to the surface. You can play along with the collective and go along with everybody's fear mongering to a certain extent. But if you're awake, honey bear, and I know you are, at some point, that creative inspiration is going to bubble to the surface. It's yes, I know the world is crazy right now, and I still need to create. So pursue the callings from spirit. It is an ancient calling. Take some action to magnify your magic. It is closer than you think. So mullein is an easy to find yet often overlooked medicine weed. You already possess the power you need, but you may not recognize it in yourself. Like mullein, inner strength and outer softness move you in an upward direction. Dried mullein stalks are dipped in wax to create torches. Follow the spark that unleashes your creativity. Allow your deepest desires to find expression. Seek courage from your ancestors. So yeah, this plant has been around for a while. There's a lot of history. There is just a lot of energy connected to this plant, okay? Ancient energy, ancestor energy. If you've ever felt like you were a witch before, this plant probably is going to call you. But you can craft a magical mullein oil if you want to connect more with mullein with the Ace of Fire. You can add spicy essential oils like ginger or cinnamon, and then apply it to creative tools like paintbrushes and pencils or dancing shoes to ignite creativity. So energetically, it's when you're a nerd, you just look at mullein as be yep, that's a good remedy for ear infections and lung congestion, right? But it's whoa, honey, when you look at it woo-woo, it's yes, but we can also have that herb help us ignite our creativity. We can have that herb help us be more courageous. We can have mullein help us seek the inspiration that we're looking for. And that's what that book was, Big Magic. It's all coming together for me. It's yes, creativity is what makes your life meaningful, right? Maybe not for everybody, but for those who feel that calling, it absolutely is. So it's just perfect that mullein is just coming in to encourage us. Just encourage us to connect with those callings that really are so deep. Okay, a little change of vibration is necessary, especially if you haven't been enjoying yourself, right? It's you still got to make time every day to be creative and to do something that you're passionate about, or work on your craft, or whatever it is, magnify your magic. So would you want to create a witch's torch? All you need to do is dry the mullein stalks and then dip them. Dip those dried mullein stalks in wax and summon your power during a dark moon. I imagine those things are they light up. Like, that really would be a torch, because I can see that mullein being pretty flammable, you know? I mean, I don't ever have that much mullein to do that with, because I'm like, I mean, I didn't even get any mullein last year, and maybe the year before that, because I had to order it dried at one point. So this year, I definitely do want to harvest some of my mulleins, and then, yeah, maybe I have a bunch of old wax that I could melt down. I should try it, but it won't be till the end of summer. That's for damn sure. So this fall, on a dark moon, if you drive by my house, see me out in the yard with this flaming torch, it's probably made out of mullein. All right, so lastly, rub a drop of mullein oil behind your ears to hear the voices of your ancestors. So it's like, don't even wait till you have an ear infection to use your mullein oil. Let's rub it behind our ears with the intention to hear the voices of our ancestors, with the intention to seek courage from the ancestors, right? With our intentions to allow our deepest desires to find expression. Whew, mullein. I did not know, but I love it. That's why we're doing this herb of the week, right? To connect with these plants in a different way. And then, yeah, I'll make it nerdy over at Herbal Marie, because that's what she likes to do. But here at Ho, we want to be inspired. Let's not lie. We want inspiration, and we want the courage to follow that inspiration. All right, take a little pause there. Write down our first 3 affirmations. They're so good. I have the courage to follow my inspiration. I ignite the flame of creativity. I listen to the voice of my ancestors. I am ... All right, let's move on. We'll get a few more affirmations for sure, and then, yeah, you can print them out on the Herbal Marie Patreon page. You might have to sign up for a Patreon account, but you can print the affirmations for free, or you can be my patron over there if you feel called to do so. All right. Mullein, integration. Let's move on to the Illustrated Herbiary by Maya Toll and see what she has to say about mullein. Maya has amazing insight with the herbs. And she has an interesting story too, because she went to Ireland to work under an herbalist, and when she went there, like, she was just like, you know, nerd, right? But she ended up having, like, you know, a real opening to the energetics of plants. Like, that's what I took from her story anyways, you know. And like, I think that is what happens to a lot of people. Like, you know, they're drawn to plants for the nerdiness, for the medicinal, for the healing, for the conventional stuff, and then they realize that these plants are spirits, they are beings, they do have magical qualities, they have emotional things they can be helped with. I mean, it's like incredible how many different levels you can connect with plants. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm not saying I'm just saying there are many ways to connect with plants. So do them all, do whichever ones resonate, just connect with plants. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just love plants, but I do love this book. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And it has the oracle message of integration. So mullein appears when she's needed and has trouble staying where she's not. Because of her penchant for moving about, over the years, she's learned quite a bit. She's learned quite a bit about quite a bit, making her a wise guide on any journey. Okay, so that's cool to me because, like I was telling you, she had not been in my yard. Okay, and then I didn't even get any last year, and then she's in my yard now. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even get any last year. Yeah, we know it, Sadie. We know you didn't get any last year. 2020 is starting to have the same theme. All right, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mullein. And then she found me because I need her. But yeah, it's like kind of like just a heads up. I can't expect her to stay. Enjoy her this year, but she might not be in your yard next year. I know. But that's okay because maybe I won't need her like I do this year. Okay. Mullein brings multifaceted understandings into alignment with each other, easily building intellectual bridges between seemingly desperate or disjointed things, because her gift is seeing the structure of the whole. Ooh, so is this how I like to connect the dots with a bunch of like unrelatable things? Like, I'm like, you'll never believe how this all works together. Like, I totally love connecting the dots in my life and seeing how like everything is interconnected, and it's like, it's cool. So let's see what else it says here. Mullein, she'll sing the relationship of bone to water or air to skin in a way that makes you wonder how you never saw those patterns for yourself. Call on Mullein when you need a torch in the darkness, or an overview of the whole so you can understand the parts. So yeah, in my life, I'm like, what is this fuckery? Right? Like, we're coming up like on 100 and whatever podcasts. If you've listened last year, if you've been hanging out for a while, it's like, yeah, sometimes it's like, what is going on here? But when we take that aerial view, when we take that broader perspective, it's like, oh, I see what's going on. Right? So I love that Mullein is going to help us integrate all the parts, right? Understand the overview of the whole, and then we understand all the parts. So within our lives, heck, within ourselves, yeah, Mullein, that's amazing. I love it. So, okay, so in this book, there's a ritual and a reflection. The ritual with Mullein is called Think Macro, and the reflection is Spider Medicine. So, yeah, I love this book. I just sit here and smile and play with my hair because I love this book so much. Think Macro. Here's the ritual. Understanding how things influence each other is key to seeing the deeper patterns at work in the world. So in your mind, as a sketch or in a journal, find the threads that connect these seemingly separate things. All right, so now she basically says what is on this picture. An acorn and a butterfly, the moon and a ship, your head and your heart. So it's an exercise, it's an activity, you guys. It's homework. Your homework is to think about these seemingly separate things. An acorn, and this is what's on the card. An acorn, a butterfly, the moon, a ship like that sails in the ocean, a ship, your head and your heart. And either in your mind, just in your mind, or maybe you want to, if you're a drawer as a sketch, or if you're a writer in a journal, find the threads that connect these seemingly separate things, just as a practice in seeing the deeper patterns at work in the world. All right, so that's that. That's the Think Macro. Understanding how things influence each other is key to seeing the deeper patterns at work in the world, right? Doesn't that make you think like the butterfly wings that cause a slight ripple in the breeze that travels across the nation and then creates a hurricane on the other side, right? For that ship. Like there's just, who knows what kind of connections you want to make with these pictures. But yeah, you'll get a glimpse of this card on the Herb Oracle Insta. Now, she goes on to say in this book, connect desperate, not desperate like Sadie's desperate for love, but desperate, like separate, desperate. Okay, I don't know. She says, many years ago, I took a workshop with Tom Robbins, author of Jitterbug Perfume. And since it was a long time ago, she says, I'm running fast and loose with Tom's exact phrasing. But essentially, he said that the job of a writer is to connect disparate things. Disparate? How the hell do I say that word? Where's my phone? Where's my robot? I feel like I'm screwing this word up. That happens sometimes, with me, absolutely. It's DISPARATE. Sorry, I have to stop before I can continue. It's a markedly distinct in quality or character, containing or made up of fundamentally different and often incongruous elements. That's the definition. Here's how you say it. Disparate. Disparate. Oh, great. There's two friggin' ways, but I definitely was, it's dis, not des. Disparate. Can you hear my robot? Disparate. Disparate. So if you want to go disparate. Or disparate. I'm going to go disparate. But it's not desperate, Sadie. It's disparate. All right, I'm never actually going to use this word in real life. Fuck that word. But connect disparate things, okay? And he essentially said to her a long, long time ago that it is the job of a writer is to connect disparate things, like a Twinkie and Jupiter, or the chiming of a grandfather clock and a swallow's mad dash from the barn eaves. Like, it's like these two disparate things, connect them. And writing can help you make connections and see the macro. So yeah, we're all one. We're all connected. We're all in the spider web of creation together. So let's make these connections of disparate things. And then we start to think macro. We start to see the bigger picture. And when we can do that in our life, we see that everything is really working as a whole. All is well. Everything's fine. Everything makes sense. It's like you just start to accept everything for what it is when you can connect those dots to disparate things. All right, so the reflection is spider medicine. I miss seeing the spiders and the spider webs. I do. They're amazing. And they'll be here soon because it is warming up quick. Mullein is like a spider sitting on her web, feeling the vibrations along various threads and seeing from the center how it all connects. Imagine all the parts of your life as a giant network, with every person, every place, and everything connected. So this reflection is asking you to think of yourself as the spider sitting in the center of her web. Imagine the threads stretching out from where you sit. Bring consciousness to your own connectivity. Are there parts of your life that need to be integrated into the whole? Now choose an action you're considering or a decision you're making. Feel out along your web. What or who will be affected by your choice? Dang. So we're spiders now. and we're on this web, and we're seeing like everything is connected. And maybe we're seeing where something isn't connected and we need to go mend the web and pull it into the web, right? Everything needs to be connected. Everything needs to be integrated into the whole. And then the next thing is understanding that whatever decisions we make, whatever we do, we will affect other things in our life. Everything affects everything, right? So when you start living your life from that reflective place, you don't just make haphazard decisions like because you understand that what you do matters. What you do is reflected outward. It affects others. It affects other aspects of your life. Like you can't be a jerk in one aspect of your life and think it's not going to resonate out. Your jerkness is going to affect other aspects of your life. Just likewise, when you put love into your life, it will also affect all parts of your life, especially when you've integrated them and you see the connections. So I love it. Okay, then we'll close this book with a quote from Robert Helga. I don't know. He wrote Philosophy Made Simple, and he said, however far back you go, you will find all experiences linked by slender threads. Okay, nice. We got another affirmation written down on the notepad. I am integrating all aspects of my life. Now, I love this so much because a couple years ago, I made it my huge intention to do my shadow work, my shadow clearing work. But really, it wasn't about clearing as much as integrating, right? Understanding there are parts of me that kind of are ugly and nasty and shameful and embarrassing and maybe things I don't really want anymore, but they are still part of me, right? So it's not about purging them from my body. It was actually about integrating and accepting them and then laying them to rest. So like we often joke about the JB in here, my judgmental bitch. I know you have one too. And it's not like we'll ever get rid of her, but we can love her, we can accept her, we can appreciate her for what she is, we can integrate her, right? So there's no shaming going on. There's no casting out. Really, you can't cast out anything. All you can do is integrate it. See how it plays a part of your story. See how it's part of the whole, right? You can't actually you can eliminate darkness with the light, but really like it's integrating the darkness. Integrating is such an interesting word for me. And I just love thinking about how like I came to it with my shadow clearing, but actually when I look back, it was shadow integrating, and it still is. So I am integrating all aspects of my life. Ooh, good affirmation. Okay, now I know this next book will have an affirmation for us because it's The Spirit of Herbs by Michael Tierra and Candace Canton, and this is the deck that I work with over at Herbal Marie. That'll be fun. That'll be fun to keep moving on over there. We did Death over there. I think we're doing Pan next. Yeah, because we did Temperance, Echinacea. Then it's cool how things are lining up because like Pan, the Devil card, is the next episode. But then I catch up to Garlic. So we're going to have a big garlic week over at Herbal Marie. But anyways, what am I looking for here? Now I'm looking for the Four of Swords. Okay, we won't get to that for a real long time. Like, it's near the back of the book. So when I get to Mullein over at Herbal Marie with the Herbal Tarot podcast, I'll be almost done with the Herbal Tarot podcast. So it's good to see you, Mullein. It's good to see you. And he is just hanging out, napping. He's snoozing. He is snoozing. This Mullein card, the Four of Swords. He's got a sword. It's kind of fallen out of his hand now because he's sleeping and is relaxed, but it's still beside him. And then he has 3 swords just hanging over his head. It's kind of funny, but he's still resting. After much disharmony, excessive thinking, and restlessness, the man has set down his sword and is taking a breather. So this Four of Swords says it is time to be calm. It's time to rest and recuperate in order to regain inner strength, reorganize thoughts, and make new plans. So yeah, like we started off saying, like, you know, igniting the flame of creativity, following our inspiration, having the courage to do that. Whew, it's like, yeah, maybe even before that, we just need to take a nap and let our thoughts just slow down and stop so that we can reorganize them, get our strength back, make some new plans. Just take a breather. Breathe. Take a breather. This may be a good time to seek guidance spiritually, financially. It is not a time to be scattered and disorganized, but instead one must strive to be grounded and to understand the boundaries and forms by which one must live. So, a little different vibe on the Four of Swords. If there's a feeling of being repressed or restricted or being asked to stay home, really, how dare anybody ask you to be contained and stay home? Don't you just want to go run some errands? It is best to look to the inner realities by which one lives to see where the self is not allowed freedom of positive expression. So this is something different. It's saying, like, if you feel like you're not allowed to be creative, like Mullein saying, we got to get you the courage to be creative. But like, if there is that feeling of being repressed or restricted, you got to look inside and see where the self is not allowed freedom. Are you not allowing yourself that positive expression? Is there a circumstance? It's time to reflect. Any unconsciousness may be due to the lack of the ability to confront the current situation. Take the time out to regroup and rest, but do it in such a way that you will have greater strength and clarity to deal with the next step. Yeah, interesting. All right, so yeah, you want one of those naps that you feel like good when you wake up, not more lethargic. Like sometimes for me, and like it used to be, a nap was a bad idea. Like I was like, if I take a nap, I might as well just lay down and die, because they just, I don't know, they just were terrible for me. But now I'm a better napper. I'm a better napper now, for sure. But yeah, Mullein, it's cool that like it says take a breather, because Mullein is an expectorant. It's a demulcent. It's very soothing. It's anti-inflammatory. It's a good remedy for pneumonia. Clears mucus from the lungs and the bronchioles. So, like when it says take a breather, that's kind of funny. Na 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 na, ha ha ha. Nerd's gonna nerd. Take a breather. Mullein says take a breather, ha ha. Okay, Sadie, we get it. Now, spiritually, Mullein can help one to take a breather after struggle and conflict. So, yeah, if you've just been driving yourself crazy, if it's just been struggle emotionally, spiritually, conflict, spiritually, Mullein can help you take a breather. It will open the lungs and it will allow the life breath to flow in more easily. So yeah, like when we get stressed out, anxiety, that's like the first thing that kind of shallows out your breathing, your lungs, your chest feels tight. Like literally, you need to breathe. Mullein can help allow toxins such as negative thoughts to be exhaled and released. So that mental fuckery is the word, you guys. It's like we have been struggling and it's been in our heads. So let's allow that negative thought thinking, that toxic thinking to be exhaled and released. Mullein was worn in the past to invoke protection, and it was said that if a plant was grown in the garden, it would protect it as well. The soft, fuzzy leaves are very soothing to the touch, and can be carried in the pocket to remind the aspirant to be calm and restful. So be calm and restful. I like it. Yeah, so anyways, the medicinal properties, it's been used for coughs, hoarseness, bronchitis, phlegm, whooping cough. The flowers are specifically sedative and anti-inflammatory. The leaves can be smoked or with alone or with colt's foot and yerba santa to soothe the throat and as a substitute for tobacco. So yeah, it will help set up the internal vibration for helping one to relax and take in a healing breath. Ooh, so yeah, tarot-wise, this is like healing from the wounds of battle, rest before the final onslaught, right? A little recuperation, a little rest. And yeah, in our physical life, it can be used for congested lung conditions. I would just suggest drinking it as a tea. You can also make a tincture, I guess, as well. I never done that because I just love it as a tea. I mean, truth be told, vodka you have to buy it, duh. And sometimes I don't have money for tinctures. So a lot of times I don't make tinctures because I don't have $20 for vodka. But tea is free. The kind that you harvest and dry yourself. So you can get Mullein tea for free, right? Mullein tincture, gotta put out $20. So, all right. So to wrap it up, our herb of the week is Mullein. This Four of Swords is like, hey, if you get it in your reading, you need to retreat, you need to regroup, you need to create more clarity and form. Maybe get some advice and information that takes us back to the Ace of Fire that was saying, listen to the voices of your ancestors, right? But yeah, take a breather. Take a breather and pull yourself together. I give myself the time to rest and recuperate. And I am open to the guidance that comes toward me. All right, so thank you to the Herbal Tarot for giving me our last two affirmations. I will put those on right after this. You guys, we're gonna have a great week with Mullein. If you don't have Mullein, we could also use chickweed or borage or Irish moss. But hey, this week, the spotlight's on Mullein as our herb of the week. It's gonna be great. We're gonna manifest more courage this week. We're gonna rest and recuperate. We're gonna take a breather. We're gonna be open to the guidance that comes our way. We're gonna integrate all aspects of our life. And yes, we are gonna connect with Mullein again as we hang out for the 11th week at Ho. So much love to you. Thanks for coming back just to hang out with me again. And I'm glad I came back too. This affirmation minute is brought to you by our beautiful herb of the week, Mullein, and I lovingly dedicate these all to you. Thank you so much for your support. I have the courage to follow my inspiration. I ignite the flame of creativity. I listen to the voice of my ancestors. I am integrating all aspects of my life. I take a breather and give myself time to rest and recuperate. I am open to the clarity and guidance that comes toward me. Yes, indeed, I have the courage to follow my inspiration. I ignite the flame of creativity. I listen to the voice of my ancestors. I am integrating all aspects of my life. I take a breather and give myself time to rest and recuperate. I am open to the clarity and guidance that comes toward me. And so it is.